If you eat a correct oha soup just like this one, you will know why it deserves all the hypes that it gets. Hello, Value Farm. You're welcome back to my channel. In today's recipe, I'm going to share with you on how to make that authentic, correct oha soup that will leave you licking all your fingers. Trust me, guys, you will love this. So let's get right into the recipe. So into your pot, you're going to be adding in your protein. For this, I'm using goat meat. You can as well use cow meat. Any meat of choice can go. So add in your stockfish. I'm using the stockfish head for that flavor. Add in some seasoning powder. Go in with your peppers. For this pepper, this is a mixture of the yellow and the red pepper. You know the aroma the yellow one gives to soups, so don't skip it out. Add it. Add in some crayfish. Add in your salt. Just follow this recipe. You are going to have a very delicious oha soup that will leave you licking all your fingers. So I'm just going to stir this all together. Since we are not marinating our meat, so we are going to allow this to steam in its own juice. You want this to cook first before you add in water. So proceed now to cover up your pot and allow this to cook. In a different pot now, we are going to be cooking our cocoyam. This is going to act as a thickener for this soup. So pour in the cocoyam that you've already washed into the pot, add in water. You are going to cover this up and allow this to cook. So back to our meat now. This has been cooking for a while now. Before you start burning, this is the time for you to add in little water to just cook the meat till it is soft enough to some extent, because we are going to be adding in some pan nut extra, so you don't need to be adding in much water to this. So I'm just going to cover this up and allow this to cook. After about 10 to 15 minutes, this is the right time for you to now add in your palm nut extract, and this was just extracted from our fresh palm fruit. I have a recipe on how to extract your palm fruit, so if you're interested, you can check it out. If not, you can even use the store-bought palm nut extract. They all do the same. So I added in some cow skin, aka kanda. See, but the major one we use for this soup is just correct cow leg. But in the absence of that, you can just use this kanda for it. So add in some of your dried catfish or any dry fish of choice. Please, this is not the soup you use banla to use. Or say if you are working on a budget, you can add in banla. So use a correct dried fish. Any even river fish will even taste better. Use a correct dried fish. Emphasis on correct dried fish. But if you don't have, you can use your normal dried catfish. So add in your ogiri. Ogiri is very important, so you must add in ogiri in this soup. So add in your seasoning powder, add in some salt. I'm just adjusting. Add in some pepper because of the palm nut extract we added. You just have to adjust so that this soup can actually taste really good. So I'm just going to cover this up and allow this to cook. So I'm going to check on the cocoyam now. If the fork can pass in easily into the cocoyam, you just know that it is ready. Just like this, the cocoyam is ready. I'm just going to set this aside and allow this to cool down. So now to our oha leaves. I'm going to show you on how to properly pluck your oha leaves from the stem. This is one of this, according to my grandma, they say this is one of the softest leaves we have. Is very easy. You don't need to slice this. You use your hand to just pick your oha leaves just like this. According to the meat, if you use knives to cut your oha leaves, it's going to turn out very strong in your soup. So let me know, have you tried using knives to do yours? So I'm just going to set this aside. I'm not washing it immediately. You wash immediately you want to add it to the soup. This is the cocoyam. I've already peeled that behind the camera so that this video won't be too long. So I'm using my food processor to really blend this. You can use your mortar to pound this, just that the food processor will just save you a little bit time in your kitchen. So after blending, we are going to check on our soup. You can see everything is boiling and the aroma coming from this soup, you need to try this out. So go in with the cocoyam paste or the pounded cocoyam, anyone. So just add in the cocoyam paste to it. No need of trying to dissolve the cocoyam. Just make sure that everything is immersed in the meat stock. Cover up your pot and allow this. It is going to dissolve on its own. As far as your stock is boiling up like this, you don't need to dissolve it. It's going to dissolve on its own. So I'm just going to cover the pot up and allow the cocoyam to dissolve. Few minutes later, this is what we have. I told you earlier, right? The cocoyam is well dissolved into the meat stock. So I'm just going in with my cooking spoon now. Just stir this. If you see any lump, you can as well take it out or you can use your hand to dissolve it. But in this case, there was no lump left. The aroma from this soup should be going miles away. If yours is not, just start afresh. You have missed an important step. See, this is how to make your soup base. From this now, if you add in only oziza leaf, you have made oziza soup. If you have it, add in your bitter leaf, and that is how to make your bitter leaf soup. So Get your soup base right. This is how to make it. So go in first with some uziza leaves. I'm just going to stir this. Allow the uziza leaves flavor to really come out first before you add in your oha leaves. So go in with the oha leaves. I just washed it and added it in, like I told you earlier. So I'm just going to stir this all together. You don't need the oha leaves to really cook. Just stir this all together and turn off your heat. The heat from the soup or the stock is going to cook the oha leaves. It's a very soft leaves and you don't need to overcook it. But what I do is that I always add this crayfish at the last stage. It might seem insignificant to you, but this makes lots of difference. This crayfish at the last has always been my secret spot for this oha soup. It takes the taste from 95 to 100% because the soup is already a hit on its own. I won't even lie. So I'm just giving it a final mix. Just turn off your heat. Your oha soup is ready. I've turned off the heat. The oha soup is ready. Take a look at this. If you try this, you will lick your 10 fingers. I don't mean five. You will lick your 10 fingers. So I'm just going to be serving this with eba. You can serve with any swallow of your choice. This is just basically how to make that correct oha soup that everyone will eat and eat and eat. So serve with your favorite swallow, and this is what you have. If you have watched this video to this point, don't forget to like this. You might need this later. Just like it so that you can always come back and subscribe to my channel if you want to see my next recipe. Take care. Bye.